Right now, in November 2023, it is playing here on Oahu and Maui and Hawaii Island, Regal Theaters on the neighbor islands, but here on Oahu, consolidated as well as Regal. In Los Angeles?
It's playing at the Lumiere till next week.
I saw it a few years ago when it had its festival
Premiere.
debut. Yeah. Waikiki is a film that must be seen. What you initially started with, Karaoke Kings, that was like the story before you came out with the three characters, Kea, Brandon, and Amy. What was the evolution? How did you decide on Karaoke Kings to be the story and then Waikiki?
Well, I've been trying to make films for a very long time, as you know. I started making films in, I'd say, the 80s. And 1987, 88. I was a photographer, and I got into motion picture and time-lapse, and I was really fascinated with the chemical process of film. In college, I actually got to experiment with video and narrative, and through the process of trying to adapt my interest in, or adjust my interest in strictly image into storytelling, it opened up a whole new world, and I started to understand the power of film beyond just like an experience or entertainment. And as my political persona, or the thing, I got influenced by the state of the world, and you start to figure out the things that you care about. I realized that I could use this medium to tell stories, and so I tried really hard to make film. It's very difficult, and it's a learning process. An artist grows over the years, like you said. We change so much, and we get new ideas. This particular feature film, I have written actually many other feature scripts. I was running a nightclub called Next Door in Honolulu's Chinatown, and we opened in like 2004 or 5, and I ran it to 13, 14. I just realized if I didn't stop running the nightclub that I would never actually get to complete a feature. So I kind of sold the nightclub, moved full-time into making feature film, made a short film called Lahaina Noon, and immediately started writing a feature screenplay, which was based on my experience in Chinatown. So next door was a place called Amy's Bar, and so Amy was a huge influence on me as a bar owner, but also just as she was an elder, wise individual who had a lot of life experience to share with me, and so she always tried to guide me, how to run a bar, but also in terms of how to be a good person and to not always judge people for their appearance. She was very accommodating to some of the individuals that we see every day. She saw them as not only customers, potential customers, but also as people. I started to talk to these people over time, got to know a lot of them, and realized that their story is not so different than ours. They had hopes, they have dreams, they had families, they had jobs, careers. Their one medical emergency or one catastrophic event or death in their family or loss of a job, it's anything can put them over the edge where they can't quite catch up. We all know how very expensive Hawaii is to live in, and it makes it more precarious for people who are already living on the edge. It's like this one extra thing can have their life spiral out of control. Like if you have untreated or undiagnosed mental health issues that can express themselves later in your life, it can change your whole opportunity or life path. And I just started understanding these are the people in my neighborhood. These are the people that I associate with and I see all the time. And I started to really feel for them. And I made a few friends that I still know. Like I'll go back and I'll talk to them and they'll remember me. It's great to see them there because some of them are not there anymore. Some of them have passed away. Some of them, I saw them, their family find them and their family take them in, but it's too difficult. It's like families aren't equipped to deal with some of the issues that present themselves. And some of those are no longer with us, and, rest in peace. And the ones that are, it's like, it's special to see that they're still trying, they still want to do things, they still have, want to live. Even though it's a desperate situation, they still find moments of joy. They still have friendships, they still have cares. There's, like some of them are still couples. They met on the street, and they're still together. So for me, that was kind of like the beginning of the Karaoke King story, which got accepted into the Sundance Indigenous Labs program. And, I got to meet with great mentors who helped me craft the script into something that's producible. I went through a development process where it started getting attachments by really well-known actors and cinematographers and crew. And it just felt for me that I was getting farther and farther away, like the larger it got. I wrote a really small story, but it seemed like it was just getting, it went from like what I thought would be a $10,000 feature film, like bootstrap it kind of situation to, we're looking at $10 million budget. And I was like, I don't know how I'm supposed to raise $10 million, I don't have an agent or anything like that at that time. So I got kind of frustrated, and I decided, I understood that many artists go through the development process as a filmmaker, and it just gets stuck there, like films go to die. And I wanted to tell a story now, so I took kind of cherry-picked some of the characters and scenes, put these individuals a week before Karaoke Kings happened, and I thought, where would they be before Karaoke Kings started, and wrote from there. And I kind of wrote it as something that I could produce myself. I said, hey, all I need is an actress, a cameraman, a van. And the van, I had two functions. One of them was, more. It acted as like the picture car. It also acted as a production vehicle. And worst case scenario, if the film never went anywhere, I thought I could live in it. So it's like my plan B.
Keeping it very real.
Yeah, no,
I appreciate
honestly, I was
that.
like, man, because since not having any reputation of making anything, it was like people weren't rushing to invest in an independent feature film from an unknown Hawaiian director. There's not too many and a culture of investing in film in Hawaii, which we're trying to change. And I think this is what Waikiki does. It shows people that there is potential for our stories to be accepted and widely released. So thank you for those investors who believed in the project from the beginning and pushed through. Nichols Family Film Fund, Brian Wee, Jason Cutinella, there's many, but they believed in it, they kept me on track, and I'm happy that we all get to celebrate its theatrical release and eventual streaming.